in the world right now, you know. Say word. Only fans, real estate, talking in fashion, let them know what's happening. Say word. On and off the court, in the field with the sports, let them know what's up. Say word. The conversation is active, from movies to action, it's the main attraction.
Another episode of the world's fastest, largest growing podcast. We live, Atlanta, Georgia right now. I'm here with one of the legendary DJs, entrepreneurs, businessmen, podcast hosts. The list could go on and on. The legendary Mr. Scream on the check-in. My guy, how's it going?
Much love. Appreciate
How you feeling,
having
man?
me. I'm amazing, man. We are here. We blessed. That's the most important thing. I appreciate you having me.
How does it feel to be on the other side of the seat today?
You know, back when I had a record deal for a little while, then I had to run around and dodge certain questions and talk shit and so forth and so forth. So it's cool, man. Anytime I can have a conversation, as long as the conversation is forward, I'm all about forward conversations, regardless of what side of the fence I'm on.
That's a fact. I'm gonna go to the beginning, man. East side Atlanta, iconic side of town. Let's talk about the culture, how it impacted you, and how it got you to where you are right now.
I think so when you go back to the beginning goes. So you got the young me that watched Yo MTV Raps and Rap City and shit, and was inspired by Yo MTV Raps and Rap City, because at that time in Atlanta, we didn't have a lot of rap music on radio. That's not what was going on. You know
Is this crisscross era?
This is mid '90s.
Mid '90s,
yeah, for sure. Mid '90s, early. So all that. So we were R&B heavy. Shouts to LaFace. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Of course, this was the home of LaFace, and a lot of legendary R&B came from the city. And then if you're familiar with like Booty Shake and the fast stuff like that, that's what Atlanta kind of was, and Freaknik era and all that type of stuff. So fast forward. I did my due diligence as I guess you could say, bedroom DJ, just falling in love with it. I always say turntables saved my life. Turntables stopped me from going outside doing some things that my parents, rest their soul, probably didn't want me to do. You know what I'm saying? Because I was so locked in. Like, when I got behind turntables, it was an instant love and addiction. Like, I had to, like, I would wake up in the middle of the night and have my headphones on with the lamp on. Like, I had to do it. You know what I'm saying? The first time I actually paid attention to DJing was the movie Juice. Like, I didn't really fully understand.
That's my favorite movie. I was just arguing with this dude right here, talking about, he asked me, was Belly better than Juice? I was like, stop.
Nah, for me it would be Juice.
Juice is that
Belly's
movie.
No slack though.
Nah, but Juice is like it though.
Belly's I feel like Belly was one thing for like. Belly focused strictly on just the streets.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? But there's some very important things that happened in Belly we could get to. But Juice was the culture, as we say now. Like, this is the culture. This is like a real story. Like, if you're a DJ, if you're a rapper, we're trying to get on. Our crew we won't be soft. You know what I'm saying? We want niggas to respect us. Like, Juice kind of embodied that culture from that side. You had a whole nother culture with Above the Rim. You know what I'm saying? Above the Rim was a different type of culture.
Yes, sir.
For people who hoop and know about that, if you ever been to the record, it's like there's a whole nother culture. And all these movies have Tupac in them, but there's a whole nother culture with Poetic Justice.
Rest in peace to Tupac.
You know what I'm saying? So that's that.
So off the record, you were saying you started DJing like 8, 9 years old?
No, it wasn't 8 or 9. I ain't gonna count like that too hard.
What we talking? 10?
I bought my first turntables at the age of 11 or 12.
11?
Yeah, out of a pawn shop. And
you did this on your own?
I did do this on my own because my parents were very school.
They wasn't trying to hear the DJ.
Yeah, like, what are you talking about, DJ? You're going to go to school and be a doctor, lawyer, or whatever. You know what I mean? So I would just skip lunch. I wouldn't eat lunch. And I would just save a few dollars every day and not eat lunch, and then basically eat one of my partner's fries and then just bum off of everybody till I had enough money. So when I told them what happened, they were like, why'd you do that? I was like, well, I'm showing you dedication, how serious I am about.
You was on your game plan.
Turntables.
Yeah, you was on your game plan.
So we made it happen. Went to a pawn shop, got a beat up pair of turntables, and that's where the journey started. Like me in the bedroom, dreaming, manifesting, thinking about DJing in front of crowds and concerts, thinking about DJing for artists, thinking about dropping an album as a DJ, thinking about being all of this was just in my brain, planted like a seed that's planted, And then there was a surreal point later on where a lot of that stuff started to happen and manifest where it kind of got scary. It's like, oh, hold on now. I don't want to do everything because what happens after you do everything? Do you like clock out? You know what I'm saying? So
Facts.
I'm consistently now in my current state, like manifesting so high, like thinking astronomical. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
Stuff that if I don't reach there, if I reach halfway there, I've done a good job. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we're at now. But
It's so amazing because you're really considered like the Atlanta mixtape legend DJ.
mm-hmm.
And when you hear that terminology behind that, how does that make you feel? Seriously,
man, there's a lot of people.
Want you to be real. Don't be.
There's a lot of people that came before me that I always have to, salute. You know what I'm saying? That paved the way, and there's a lot of people during my era I salute. I don't want if I start getting the names, I'm gonna forget somebody. But if you're from Atlanta, you know what the J team means to us. You know what I'm saying? Shouts to Edward J. Shouts to so many. Shouts to DJ Nabs.
DJ Nabs.
You know what I'm saying? Shouts to
Chris Crosso DJ.
For sure, DJ Jelly, my brother, Monte Camp. You know what I'm saying? Salute to them. And then, shouts to Drama. You know, of course, Gangsta Grills, Drama, Gangsta Grills, what he did in the how he kind of upped the ante for everything. And then, at a certain point it became DJ Scream, but what made me powerful, I was really kind of deep into studying like Dipset and Cruise and brands and how did they get here, how did they last, like how did they do it, because man, when you're talking about, sometimes we're talking about dealing with black people, it's like getting 3 black people on the same page is difficult.
It's tough.
You see what
I'm saying? It's tough to get 2 black people on the same page.
1.5.
Like,
so you know what I'm saying?
Real.
So
shout out to my girl.
So what it was is I remember admiring Dipset, like damn. Of course admiring Wu-Tang. That's the
Wu-Tang.
ultimate synergy of
challenge,
bringing black people together.
Yeah, that's shout out to RZA
for a common cause for sure. But I was like, man, if I ever get the opportunity to have a juice like that, then I want to do my shit like them and really show love. I got to a point, shouts to my brother, Rip, you know what I'm saying? We started the Hood Rich thing together with the homies. So now I get into all the homies because there's a lot of homies. But, I remember we had a very vital conversation of, do we want to open this up? Like, he said, I'm okay focusing on however you want to do it because basically we're on fire right now. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, hell no, I don't want everybody to go through. Open the door. Open the floodgates. So my friends, they weren't like my friends. You started to see my friends become a part of the Hood Rich movement. And I would teach them whatever I knew, and they would support me, and we supported each other. That's how the Hood Rich movement came together. My friends who happened to be DJs, the likes of Black Bill Gates and MLKs and Swamp Izzos and DJ Spins, and I'm gonna forget somebody's gonna be mad. All of the homies, right?
Word.
It was important for me to just try to support them any way I could because they were giving me the same support, and we built a true family. So when somebody would run up to me in the airport or this, I want to be in Hood Rich. Well, I would have 2 problems with that. Admire your ambition, right? But for one, it's not a DJ clique. This is a family. You know what I'm saying? It's a family. These people I hung out with and kicked it and really know their family. They know, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the family. And then, I'm a big, I've never ran around and tried to be a part of something that, do you really know what it's about?
Yeah.
Now, and if you ask, there's a couple people that got in because they asked, what is that about? And that would awe me, like, oh, you want to know what it's about. You don't just want to be in because it looks good. Because it could be some bullshit. Right? So, I pride myself and all my brothers on doing some things for the city and this culture that can never be erased, and that's just kind of what it is. So, when people give me props and credit, I immediately go into the space of being grateful and starting to give a lot of other people credit. Because that's the type of person I am. Now, some other people would just be like,
I respect
I did it all on my own.
Fuck
y'all. You know what I mean? Like, but that's just not me, because even to this day, like, I build off of I build with people. You know what I'm saying? I believe in building, not destroying. So, I'm going to learn something from you. You're going to learn something from me. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's how it goes. So that's the type of individual I am. So I take it. I embrace it. I'm thankful. It wasn't always pretty. You know what I'm saying? A nigga had jobs. A nigga was cleaning toilets. A nigga wasn't. It wasn't always that. And even at some of them, imagine being in like Source magazine and being broke.
Yeah.
And they're oh shit, you made it, nigga. I ain't got my rent.
That's a fact. Yo,
you
that's
know
a fact.
No. I'll sell this shit right now for my rent. Take me
Yeah.
out and give me some rent. So you have to go through those, and that all builds your humility and all builds your character as a person, so that you can last and have longevity. In my opinion.
Let me ask you this though. You go to college, you go to school, Tuskegee, you get a degree in engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to go to school? Or did your peoples make you go to school? What was it? What?
Absolutely. My father, rest his soul. My mom's from here. My father's African.
Okay.
So you come from an African household. It's not an option of whether or not.
So you're going to school?
Yeah, it ain't no option. I don't have an option. Like, you know what I'm saying? I gotta go to school. So unless I got a bigger, brighter plan.
Yeah, okay.
I did it at the time. So, but man, listen, riding down there and just my mind racing and wondering what the future would hold for me and being on my own. Very nervous, reluctant, and so many different emotions. It was tough for me because. I'm going to school, and my mother has cancer, and my father has diabetes, and they're dealing with health ailments, and I really don't want to go to school. I want to stay in Atlanta, figure it out, and support my peoples. But the character of my parents were, you're a man now.
Yeah.
So you got to
hold it down. Yeah.
And you got to go. It would be selfish for us to hold you back and not let you go be a man. You see what I'm saying? And that was painful at the time. You know what I'm saying? I did it. It was a lot of emotions as a young black man. But when I look back onto it, it happened the way it was supposed to happen. Here I am in Tuskegee, right? I met lifelong friends, and that was the first crew. We had Hitman and made history there. And this is when people started to actually confirm my talent. Because all this is about your esteem, right?
Yeah.
You do this because you love to do it, but someone's told you, hey, you're good at this.
Yeah, they tell me I'm dope. I mean,
know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to be modest, but
you be modest, but
I hear
but the ego, took the ego so much.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, I'm that nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, man, shouts to DJ Caesar, shouts to Tuskegee was an amazing experience that I wouldn't take back. I was able to go actually this past homecoming. It had been a while since I had gone back, but I was able to go just pay respect to them. They paid a lot of respect to me. A lot of people told me how a lot of people reminded me about the turntables in the dorm room, with the roaches and the this and the that and the broke. They reminded me. I was like, yo, you know what? It reminds me to be grateful because it's like
where you come from.
What if it didn't work?
Yeah.
And I tell people that all the time when you're in a space of stuff is moving forward, however it's moving forward. What if it didn't work?
What would you have done if this didn't work?
Well, I had a backup plan.
What's your backup plan?
My backup plan was that degree.
Okay.
Listen, before I got my first tour gig, which was with Montel Jordan.
I was about you about that too.
I mean, I'm suiting and tying up, going for job interviews. Wow. What else I'm gonna do? Now I'm back. My parents have passed away during college, and I'm staying with one of my sisters, and she again, we come from that type of family. She's like, well, you're good. Don't worry about it. You got 6 months on me.
And then after that, it's a wrap.
You know what I mean? You good. 6 months. You want to party all six, whatever you want to do. But 6 months and day one, I'm going to need that rent. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, that by the grace of God, always been a prayer, man. By the grace of God, like, I literally got my first corporate, I think it was enterprise rent-a-car offer, like, and that money at the time was like gold. Like, y'all give me 30, 40,000. What? You know what I'm saying?
You get that.
But it just so happened I had to make a choice. There was guaranteed money, go to a job, but at the same time, there's this person is looking for a tour DJ. Not nearly as much money. Not even guaranteed, because, tours get canceled and all this other stuff. Mind you, I'm on like month 5. So,
and was this Montel Jordan? This is how we do it, Montel Jordan?
This wasn't. This is how.
Okay,
it is.
Okay,
this is how we do it, Montel Jordan. But it's when he had left Def Jam and he was now on Koch Records.
Okay.
Thing, right?
Okay.
So it's a no-brainer to me. I'm going on tour.
You out.
Right. So, me and my sister had a conversation. Hey, I'm gonna just be honest. I got a job offer and I got a tour offer. I'm going on tour. Hey, whatever you do, remember, as long as not 3 days, not 4 days, the rent due.
That's a fact.
Right? So that's the route I went. That was a priceless. That was priceless being around somebody like Montel Jordan that young. I think that was God sent because I learned so much about the industry and life. You know what I'm saying? And he would tell me about having to make your choices out here. This is a tough industry. Like
I was gonna get
if
to that.
somebody brings out the
Yeah,
plate of Coke or whatever, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Some
yeah,
shit that you're not into, what do? You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? So I salute him for that. I met my lifelong friend, shouts to Remo, you know what I'm saying? He was out there. Um, and then that led to me coming back and not having enough money.
Mm.
So I'm broke. So I got a job at Guitar Center to be around music. But we're selling music shit, but
That's one of my favorite spots too. I play the drums, so I always go there.
it's a love hate for me. But but part of that is, the humility of now my mixtapes are starting to bubble a little bit and I'm getting parties and stuff like that, but I still need a job to make ends meet. But imagine, 11 o'clock. All right, man, go hit that toilet. And it's like, I got a boss. Like, you want me to go clean the toilet? Like, and I don't know what is with guitars. I got the worst toilets, dog. Like, it's horrible. But through all this, I'm taking my situations from Tuskegee and whatever apartment I live in, having to clean the toilet and all this other stuff, saying, what I do know is I had this feeling in my core. When I get there, I'm not going to take it for granted.
That's a fact.
And when we talk about what we're talking about like before we started rolling, like, we'll get to that too. Like, I just think that a lot of the people out there in hip hop culture have taken this for granted. You know what I'm saying? Because
You talk about MCs, producers. That's where you going with this?
I'm talking about everybody because this is not. This is music, but this is a gift from God. Like I run a payroll. I didn't never fucking think I run a payroll that pays people, and that means their kids depend on. I mean, I got to get up, and if I don't get up and make it happen, then their kid like what a payroll. Like I'm on the payroll. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I run
yeah,
a significant payroll that people depend. Whoa, you know what I'm saying? So we can't. I was watching the 50 years of hip hop celebration in the Bronx, and I think it was Cool Herc and the lady speaking, and she was talking about how spiritual this is, right? So it's cool to have fun. Like I said, I'm the advocate of young niggas getting money. I love it because you can get money.
You
You
put
see
a
what
lot
I'm
of
saying?
people on too.
Hey man, I'm an advocate of getting money. Please get money. I'm the type of person. I'm gonna open the door. Hey man, over here's the money. Here's the gold. That's the type of person I am. But it's a catch-22 because when I see people take it for granted, you know what I'm saying? You have to keep in your mind like we can lose this.
At any time, man.
There's like I think that this is a place of humility 2023 and I start talking about the numbers and the not maybe we getting poked like hey tighten up or we can lose it. Now think about this. You got R&B and rock and roll was hot and then whatever it evolved and all these other genres of music. You know what I'm saying? But if you pull the plug on hip hop culture and everything connected to it, which is also this, right?
That's a fact.
What happens?
We wouldn't even be here. I wouldn't be here.
Somebody have to get in the streets.
It's
And
gonna
do
be a problem. Somebody getting
lot of
robbed,
street shit.
taking my watch, money. Can't take my girl, but anything can happen.
I've seen the hip hop culture bless someone. Like I've known people on this side of the spectrum that are rough, right? And then they hop on a tour bus and they might make a little money, but then they get to see something other than their neighborhood. And
Okay.
It opens you up. I remember the first time I got on the plane, it just felt different. Like
Exposure.
There's a whole world out
Yeah,
here. Like
yeah.
the first time being overseas is like, wow, I'm overseas and y'all know who I am. Like now your brain thinks different other than what's going on the block. But now we're don't take it for granted. You know what I'm saying? Just don't take it for granted because this is a blessing, man. It's not a given. It's not a given that we can rap and we can make music and we can make money and we can tour the world and we can feed our families and we can go to the Grammys and we can do or whatever you do. You know what I'm saying? It's not a given.
Man, I got so many questions to ask you about hip hop, man. Like I gotta ask you this though. The younger generation.
Mhm.
Do you feel like their lack of their lack of knowledge is a disrespect to the hip hop world. I'm gonna say this because I went to go interview Eric Sermon a couple weeks ago, and had a young MC with me. And he didn't know who Eric Sermon was, and I was just like, I'm 45, so I'm like, how you don't know who Eric?
Well, whose fault is that?
I don't know. I asked you the question.
Well,
like, how you don't know who Eric Sermon is?
Well, people in they know who Dolly Parton is in that culture. I'm not taking the. It's not at Eric Sermon. I'm not saying him.
Yeah, I know.
What I'm
I know,
saying is, they know who Dolly Parton is. They know who Madonna is. They know who, they know. And but what I'm saying is, collectively, again, that's taking it for granted, right? I feel that way to a certain extent about, just locally, like Atlanta culture, like. You should know who Raheem the Dream is. You should know who Kilo is. I'm not saying you're going to know every song from top to bottom. That's not your era.
I know what you mean.
But you say, yeah, I've heard of him. You see what I'm saying? And then there is a difference between Eric Sermon and EPMD. I think everybody knows EPMD.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So what you are responsible for after you're accomplished, right? And I started this, actually, this hit me in COVID. I was like, oh shit, like, it's no longer about what I was trying to make it about. Now it's about legacy. So how do I want to be remembered? I don't want to be remembered as a nigga that's yelled over, you screamed over music. It's because that shit was way deeper than that anyway. So I got to tell my story because it was deeper than just, I didn't just go yell over music. I sent niggas beats, I orchestrated, we executive produced, we did this, we did distribution. We were a record label. Like, Rip and the homies. Me ripping the homies. Like, so, like, now, it's like, well, I want people to know that. That's why I have a foundation that's
Screen Foundation.
The youth. I want people to know that wherever you are, however fucked up it may be or whatever the circumstance is, that you can evolve into whatever it is you choose to be, but you have to make that choice. Nobody else can drag you along. There's no handouts, no nothing like that. If the people who in this game said, I'm out the streets. Now, if you know anything about that, that's a severe pay cut. If you getting it, that's a severe pay cut. If you go from the streets and hustling to being a rapper, you're going from making money to being an intern. Matter of fact, you're going from making money to being an intern who spends money. You see what I'm saying? But something into these people that cold turkey, I'm out because I see the black skies coming. You see what I'm saying? They believed in themselves that much. You gotta have that faith. You gotta believe. They believe in themselves that much. They said, I'm stepping on the faith to do this. I'm putting it all in. And whatever the result is, I stand on it. Now, for some of those people, CEOs, they became big rappers or rappers and they were able to make money. Some of them bumped their head and it didn't work. And there's successful people that kept going and end up signing the biggest artists. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, whatever your destination is, you gotta kind of have that fire and that grit to say, this is where I'm going. And for me, it was always that. It's like, well, whatever it is, one thing we're not gonna do is quit. So we're gonna go through the ups, the downs of this shit. We're gonna go through the whole journey and smile about it because it's gonna have its ups and downs and its turbulence. Still has its turbulence, regardless. You see what I'm saying? So that's the way I look at it, bro.
Being from the east side of Atlanta, I'm from New York, so hip hop ain't really been too like, I wouldn't say too promising to us lately. I might get in trouble, but yeah, I live in Houston. It don't matter no more. Did you ever think? Was there ever a time where you ever would think that you would see Atlanta to be kind of like the hub of hip hop?
Not
ever.
If you was on some rap shit in the '90s in Atlanta, it was a joke. Like
but now it's like Atlanta's like
how like you're not from New York. How you gonna get a record deal?
I had Drummer Boy on the show the other day, and he told me, I was like, yo, so who what city is on top of the hip hop world? He's like Memphis. He from Memphis. But if you be realistic, like Atlanta's like the dream team.
Atlanta's the all-time
dream team right now.
I would somebody can do this. Close friend of mine, shouts to June. We have the bassist, my New York friend. I love him to death, right? And I'm like, well, June, like Cash Money Records and No Limit has sold more records than New York combined ever.
You serious? Who told you that?
Add it up.
You know that for a fact?
Do the math. When you get time.
What? I'm disappointed in New York. Hold on. Yo,
I'm saying add it up.
are you serious,
You
bro?
can add up all of it too. Bring all of it. Like
Is that
it
included?
sold a lot of records.
Cash
If
Money.
you add Cash Money Records,
Are you saying New York artists?
listen what I'm saying. If you add Cash Money Records, if you're talking about Lil Wayne, Juvenile, BG, Turk, Hot Boys, Manny Fresh, Drake, Nicki Minaj, and you keep it going, and you look at how many records stunning them don't get off.
Yeah.
And realistically, our debate
sense.
was if you add that to what Master P did, what's that?
1 billion units sold.
So if you add that and you add up, it was great. Okay, in New York, this person went platinum. This person went platinum. This person went platinum. That's 1 million.
That's
So
dope.
you got to
you know
get to 1,000 platinum projects.
I believe that because a lot of rappers in New York don't really go platinum. Like for some reason, New York rappers.
Well, y'all had a very, I was in love with it, man.
Yeah, we don't really go platinum.
Had a very, very intense and competitive climate, which I love because it gave us some of the best music.
Yeah, it's
ever
competitive.
Heard in our life. You know what I'm saying? But when Bad Boy came, and when certain people start doing 2, 3, 4 million, 5 million, that was considered astronomical.
Yeah.
Then them Outcast boys hit you with a 10 million. You know what I'm saying? It's all love. I'm just saying that. But a lot of the reason that Outkast was able to hit you with that 10 million was because I think that in Atlanta or in the South, see, we had already figured out the independent hand. We're not even talking about that. We're not even talking about what Suave House and Rap A Lot and all them did hand to hand in the street. We're not even talking about the independent game. If you know about Selecto hits and all, we're not even talking about that. Where the cuts was different. So we sold that cassette tape for 20. It's our 20. That 50-cent cassette tape or $1 cassette tape for 20. So they wonder, like, that's a whole nother thing. But I think that we had to figure out how to be in the industry and, like, be in the industry. Like, that had to get figured out in Atlanta and the South. Of course, it got figured out. But I think we had to figure that out. So I say that just to say, like, listen, East Coast hip-hop, Midwest hip-hop, West Coast hip-hop. It's like, when you get to it, I have playlists, like, you got to be proud of everybody. Then we got a homie from across the border in Canada that came and put his 2 cents in. You see what I'm saying? So we got to be proud of all of it. But damn it, listen. Atlanta is what it is.
You saying that? You saying that humbly or?
No. It's not humbly. It is what it is. We have not been off the charts for over 2 decades.
So you say that?
That's not humbly, and I'm a humble person.
No,
I'm not being
I'm
humble. I'm being mathematical.
That's a fact.
We're on the charts now.
So you feel like Atlanta is
you put up the charts.
So Scream, what you're saying is this: you feel like Atlanta is the hub of hip hop right now.
Atlanta, I feel like 50 years of hip hop, watching it in the Bronx, and a person who had a time to live in the Bronx for some time, and everything that came from it is beautiful.
Facts.
And the surrounding areas, and your Brooklyns and your Queens and the surrounding areas. But from 1994 to 2024, definitely from 2004, because I might have been a little younger in 94, we have always been on the charts.
I know.
We have always been there.
So Def.
When West Coast was hot, cool, we're there. When the East Coast is hot, cool, we're there. Drake calls to Atlanta. He's done more collaborations with Atlanta artists than any other place. And Drake is the guy that blesses people and takes them there. He's done other collaborations, but he calls to Atlanta. This is Atlanta, dog. Like, it's something in the water. There's certain places where we always have to pay homage and salute Memphis, because Memphis was doing their thing, and they had to get bump music and everything like that. Like, they had a certain type of style in the 808s and all that. We always had to play homage to Florida, because that was Too Loud Crew and Luke and everybody and those people, you know what I'm saying, making their shit. So that's what I say, you always have to pay homage to the people that kind of open the door for you. But listen, this is not up for debate unless you just want to debate.
Yo.
It's like, you know what I do with niggas that be like, the earth is flat. I be like, you got it, bro. Earth's flat. Cool.
You know,
I want to argue with you.
But yo, you know what's crazy though? Like, word up, Atlanta. I've never seen Atlanta really slow down.
Well,
like it's always been
by
consistent.
force.
Like,
I
what
feel
you mean
like
by force?
I feel like recently with the Ricos and this.
Okay,
and that,
okay.
I feel about force we're not it's still Lil Baby and Future Grammy like we're still here. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
a lot of MCs from Atlanta.
Like
A lot of MCs from Atlanta.
that's not up really for debate, and I'm not taking anything away from.
Nah, I know.
I'm not taking anything away from because if you look at the '80s moving into the '90s and what New York did for the culture, I'm not taking anything away. You can't.
Atlanta stepped up though. I ain't gonna front. Shout out to Atlanta. Atlanta definitely it's a lot of MCs from Atlanta. Future is like.
You had to go. You
can't
had to
talk
go
about it.
from, like I said, back to Kilo and Raheem and Outkast and Goody Mob and Dungeon Family and Lil Jon and Crime Mob and Trillville and Scrappy and Swag Surfing, arguably being the biggest record ever. You know what I'm saying? Like it just keeps going. Then the T.I., then the Jeezy, then the Gucci Man, then the Ludacris, then it just keeps going. Then you got Future and 2 Chainz. Then you got I Can't Stop. I know because I was there.
Let me ask you this: so who would you consider the inventor of the trap music? You being from here,
Trap music.
trap that whole sound.
The first time I heard the word trap was locally in probably 95, 96. I was young. I would hear the word trap.
Who's responsible for that?
The word trap.
No.
Trap music.
The trap music.
The first time I heard the word trap in music.
Okay.
The first time I heard the word trap in music was Ghetto Mafia.
Ghetto Mafia. Okay.
That was the first time I heard the word and the term used.
Okay.
I'm not saying that that's the first time. That's the first time I heard it.
Okay.
I was young. All right. Now, the person that created the genre trap music and labeled it trap music and created the genre that so many other people followed, you have to get at T.I.
Oh.
I'm just saying because
snap.
He called it trap music.
No.
I'm not saying people weren't using the term
on
some slang shit, but okay, you can do whatever you want to do. Once I coin it and term it, it's mine. I did it. I went out on the limb and called my shit trap music. This is trap music. I labeled it. So people are like, no, even with other things, like if I come up with something and coin it, and then somebody might have been doing it before. Because, in our culture, there's a lot of stuff that happens in the hood and locally that's just cool shit that niggas just do. Just to do. And they ain't think about how to monetize it. They just the cool nigga, right? If I'm the nigga that takes it and puts a term on it and monetizes it, it's mine. I'm just telling you the American way.
I'm here.
Listen. Right? Christopher Columbus discovered America, right?
Mm-hmm.
I put this is America. That's what we're going to call this shit. No. This is the indigenous. This is America now. You see what I'm saying? So in that respect, Tips, my brother, love you. When we go to the Trap Music Museum, I salute Tip because I'm like, wow, bro, you really made this fair.
I didn't think
have to make it fair.
I didn't think he was gonna say Tip. Shout out to Tip, legend.
Ooh.
I thought because a lot of us when we think of trap music, we think of Gucci. We think of Jeezy.
Yeah, Gucci's different.
It seemed like
Gucci's trap god.
Yeah,
he's
that's
the trap god.
That's what I thought you was gonna say.
No, Gucci. Listen, I'm from the East Side. I love Gucci.
Okay.
And Jeezy, what he did is
Jeezy.
unmatched.
Snowman was
Trap or Die.
Snowman album made you want to sell drugs.
The person that
I'm just being real.
But the person that did it when it wasn't cool.
Okay.
And made a song "Dope Boys in the Trap" and then named his next album "Trap Music" was T.I. We can't escape that.
Shout out to T.I., man.
That's what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, are there many contributors before him locally? If you know, absolutely. And we should salute them because they contributed to the sound and the culture of it and probably lived it. You know what I'm saying? But hey, the first time I heard the word trap, if you go listen to Straight from the Deck or Indicator from Ghetto Mafia, that's the first time I heard it. And the first time I heard it being used was my cousins.
Okay.
They were using it loosely, like, I'm finna go get me some weed from the trap.
All right.
What's that about? I'm young. I'm square. Like, what's that about? Well, you hope you go in there and get your weed and don't get trapped or locked up. It's the trap. It's the trap. There's no way out. You're trapped. That's the way that it was brought to me. You know what I'm saying? But you got to give Tip that.
Shout out to Tip, man. Shout out to Tip. What made you start the foundation?
Man, it was 2020. COVID was going on. I had a lot of time to just sit and think, as we all did. And I had spent various years before that making sure that I pull up for the community and do stuff for kids and just donating and doing whatever I can to help the community, because it's something that was always near and dear to my heart. And it was one of my people that was like, I know that you're a selfless person and you don't want to do this, but you gotta put a title on it. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to.
You didn't want to do it like that? You want to just do your thing?
I'm cool. They're like, nah, this is the reason you gotta put a title on it. And as I started to see, like, from a political level, like, politicians asking me for favors and this and that, and I started to understand how it worked, I'm like, well, I got to create a way for these politicians to hold them accountable. They go out here and say, we going to do this and we going to do that. So I'm the accountability partner. Hey, man, you said you was going to do this. These kids need this, this, and this, and this, and this. Yeah, but I need your influence. Fuck my influence. They need what they need.
That's a fact.
Then I will consider, based on your character, maybe using my influence to let people know you're a decent person. And that's really what it was. Outside of that,
I respect that though.
If I can, we can keep track of it. You know what I'm saying? Not that does anything for me. Mm-hmm. I don't give a fuck. But I've created a foundation, and there's other people, and now we can keep track of this. Is what you go to the website, you'll see this is what we've done. We're a real foundation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a 501c3 and all that. We're a real foundation that goes out into the community. I've been like in the hood passing out shit like this is a real foundation. You know what I'm saying? And also, the person was letting me know that you should do it publicly, because what you're gonna do is influence other people to do it. You dig what I'm saying? So that's where it came from. Like, at first I ran from the idea, but it was actually a great idea because it's built an amazing team. Our hearts are all in the community. If anybody pays attention to what's going on just with our youth, it's more critical than ever. You know what I mean? Some of my, the people I look to for knowledge, call them OGs or whatever, would tell you that, like, this year, last year, so this is the worst we've probably been since crack era. You know what I mean? As a black
crack era was bad though.
Crack era was very bad.
I was young, but I remember, like,
there's a lot of
and I say not to cut you off. Like, I remember the crack era because, like, none of my friends grew up with their mothers.
You see what I'm saying? Tear apart
that should
families.
tell you right. Like,
tear apart families.
Like, everybody grew up with their grandmother.
But yo, man, like, a lot of these drugs now are tearing up families because you got overdoses, you got like various factors and different things, and instability of emotion and not thinking clear. Didn't crime used to? I'm gonna say it was good. I'm not advocating crime.
Yeah.
But didn't it used to make sense?
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, he went and did that because he was broke.
Yeah, he had to get some Pampers or something.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why he
now
did it.
It's like, yo, I just feel
now
like
it's like
taking that from
hold
you.
on. He stays in $1 million home and did what?
Yeah.
So it don't make sense no more. Like, I have to blame that on the drug. The choice of drugs, those choice of drugs distort your emotions and your mental and make you do irrational. Like, I have to blame that. And you got to think some of these drugs were considered drugs that black people don't do back then. But now it's like we're doing all of them times 10.
You blame hip hop on that?
Hip hop is influential.
So is that a yes?
Influential.
Is that a yes?
Hip hop is influential. I don't want to. I don't want to go out there and talk about hip hop and drugs without talking about hip hop and the amazing things that hip hop has done for black people and people as a whole. But you have to take accountability for. There are people who have seen me, who might look down, like, bro, you always got some hard kicks on. I'm gonna get them kicks. That's influence. You see what I'm saying? So
we just talking
also
about
right
that.
now,
true.
Somebody's watching this. I could pull out a drug and decide to consume it. Oh yeah, fuck with Screw. I'm gonna do that too. It is influence. Like I said, like when I saw Slick Rick, then it was I gotta get a gold chain. I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but I want a gold chain and I want some Adidas because I just saw Run DMC, and I wanted an Atlanta. I didn't have an Atlanta hat before I passed. You know what I'm saying? I didn't. Like, I was an Atlanta Braves fan, all that. Mom, Dad, I need an Atlanta hat like now, and I want to wear it like this. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, so this is very influential, and I think that you should always tell your story. let people know where you're from. A lot of people take pride in where they're from. That's dope. But it was just more balanced back then. When you listen to Scarface, Ghetto Boys are street as they come. But there was also like, but here's the consequences of that. I'm not bragging on it. You know what I'm saying? All of those Biggie told stories, like everybody, they told these stories, and they were the stories of, like, think about the record Juicy.
Oh
It's
yeah.
such a motivational record. It was all a dream. That's how it starts. Usually, it's all a dream. Now, before I got to this point of being able to flip through the source and this, that, and the third, I had to go through all this shit to get here. You see what I'm saying? So, I just think that hip hop is influential.
That's a
You
fact.
have to take it as such, the good and the bad.
What made you want to start the podcast? Big fans of Big Facts podcast. What made you want to get
Shouts
into
to my
that?
brother, Big Bank. Shouts to Baby J, the
Whoa.
whole team. So again, this was a little bit before COVID. I was doing radio, and I was like, you know what? I want to do something. I always want to keep it fresh and exciting. You know what I'm saying? And at the time, I was studying like Tax Dog, Combat Jack, Drink Champs, and I was studying these podcasts. I was like, listen, this is amazing. You know what I'm saying? This is what the culture really is. Like, these conversations are unfiltered, uncensored, they're real, and people are starting to really understand the story. And I told myself, as I used to sit there on the couch, actually crazy watching the podcast, that I got to do this, right? But it's going to take the right situation, and I got to do it right. So I remember one day there was an interview. And me and Bank have always been friends. Like, if we see each other, it's always love. We might not have been like speaking every day or nothing like that then, but so I see Bank, or I hear Bank interviewing Future, right? By the time I caught up with him, I was like, yo, bro, listen, this is, I can't even explain it. I can't even put it in words. What you mean, man? We just had a conversation. I can't put it in words because it was so authentic. It's not journalism schools. None of that shit is
It's just raw.
This is the convo.
Yeah.
What's up, nigga? Like,
Yeah.
just asking them the
I
real.
love that though. That's why I love doing this. It's so like, yo, what up, man?
That's
like,
just that's and it's healthy because
yeah, man.
what happens is what happens is somebody identifies with it.
Yes.
Sometimes you think you're the only one going
Nah.
through something, and you're not. Like, there's nothing new under the sun. So when Bank came to promote, I think it was the Shit Show or a No Cap Party, something like that. He came to the radio station. Shouts to him. Shouts to Hannah. And I was like, bro, what's up with the podcast? And then, what you doing? I thought the podcast was coming. And Bank don't waste a lot of time. And Bank was like, man, bro, you put it together, we gonna do it. And I'm looking at him now, like, hey man, I'm an African Capricorn here. Say that again so we can have it documented. So that, and I honestly think that maybe 2 weeks later we were filming. Right? He walked in and like, oh shit, this nigga got the cameras, the light. Oh shit,
That was a plan.
it's going on. But for me, it's like the thing that I try to let people know about is it don't take a long time to do nothing. It's your own negligence. It's your own what do you call it? Procrastination. Like, it don't take a long time. You got two black men here that agree, shook hands. We're gonna do this. Because I had a conversation with, like, bro, we're gonna do it. Let's do it. If we're not gonna do it. Let's not do it. It's fine. And he's like, bro, I'm telling you, I'm committed. This is what I'm on. I'm about to evolve. Matter of fact, I don't even want to talk. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Jay was always there as a supporter from day one, of course. Eventually got a seat too, became the team, had some legendary conversations. And I'm just happy that, these stories can be told. When you're in the pod, like, we're on episode maybe around 200, right? And that's the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, how many more people we got to sit down with?
I know.
Or just around amongst ourselves, outside of sitting down with people, just amongst ourselves. You know how many more gems Bank has, Jay has, collectively, how many more gems we have for people just to give them game and motivation. So that's what it's really about. I don't, it's titled Big Facts Podcast, but for me, it's like a lifestyle and a movement. You know what I'm saying? And I have to give it right back to Bank because he was on the podcast and it was like, man, I get more than a podcast. I get an actual brother and family member. I have to give that right back to him because Bank don't understand. He's like motivator. Bank will call me sometimes. I just hear his voice and get happier.
That's dope.
Really, like, he'll hit me. What's up, bro? What you on? I'm really goddamn in the bed, fucked up, depressed, ready to give all this shit up and fuck this shit. But I'm gonna say, I'm good, bro. Hell yeah, you need to get out there, goddamn, get you some exercise in. Let's go.
Yeah.
I need that. You know what I'm saying? So you need that. So, it's a blessing, man. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we're just getting started. Maybe that's just my own narcissism. I say that with everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the conversations are very important. And I feel like we're gonna, you know, just continue to ascend. And that's it, man. Big facts. I'm a fan of big. I have to be a fan of what I do.
Word.
When I was,
I'm definitely a fan of Say Word podcast.
for sure, and and salute to you too. You know what I'm saying? Because I love the consistency. Even how you interacted with me, I was like, okay, I've been here now. I'm getting sandwich. Smith is hitting me. He's hitting me. My assistant is hitting.
Yeah,
I've been here.
Yeah, I'm reaching
all right,
out.
I'm getting pressed here. I'm getting pressed. I understand when I'm getting pressed. Like, you're asking me, but you're really telling me. But I admire that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shouts to Jay Hill, the Jay Hill podcast. That was a similar situation. But I love it because media is the way we can tell the story and hopefully get to the facts.
Word.
Because if we let whoever tell the story, they're going to tell it their way. So we have to get, this is document. This can never be, once this is out, this can never be replaced. This is a pyramid. Podcasts are the new pyramids. You can never destroy them. It's there. It's documented. Hopefully the people are being truthful and factual about what they're saying. But this is forever. You see what I'm saying? And we need those conversations. I don't have people come up to me middle of the mall grocery store, man. Man, big facts, man. I feel like y'all changed my life.
That's a fact.
Let me elaborate.
I'm a fan. I watch.
Elaborate. Nah, man, because, you know, some of the shit y'all be talking about, bro, shit I be going through, and I don't have nobody to talk to. I don't have no parents. I don't have this. I don't be knowing what to do, right? So we're not telling you what to do, but I think that we're just clicking your mind to say, hey, man, you know, if you think about this, there's a lot of different options to how you can approach this. Take beef, right? This person doesn't like this person.
Y'all squash a lot of beef.
Hey, this person doesn't like this person. This person doesn't like this person, right?
Yeah, y'all squash a lot of beef.
There's a lot of options there.
Yeah.
And we've all been there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different options there. Now, how are we going to choose the option that best serves ourselves and our family? Now, sometimes, you know, in the street world, you know, it is what it is. But for the most part, my biggest frustration with hip hop culture is not seeing these young boys be able to grow into men, full men. They're losing their lives before they can become full men, because everybody knows the shit that you're on at 30 and 40 years old is not the same shit you're on at 15 and 20 years old. So that's my biggest frustration. When I look back, I'm like, so this whole person that had all of this potential is no longer here for some bullshit. Now, if this person was on some crazy whatever, that's a whole nother conversation. But that is some bullshit. That is something that, if we respected OGs, and that's a whole nother conversation, that's a whole podcast of itself. But if we respected people who have wisdom, let's call them people who have wisdom, because the OG term, that is what it is. If we respected people who have wisdom, the people who have wisdom would say, bro, I promise you, if you just kind of let that shit roll off your shoulders and go breathe and focus on some other shit, you're not going to be as mad. You're not going to be as mad Friday as you are Thursday, depending on what it is, right? And if you can make it to Saturday, you're even in a better space where you're like, you know what? Fuck that nigga. I don't want to have nothing to do with him, but it is what it is. I'm going to focus on my shit.
That's a fact.
But we're acting off of impulse and emotion in the moment and destroying families. You understand what I'm saying? So that's my biggest frustration with this. When people ask why I stopped doing records, I couldn't bear looking at my hard drive when I was working on my album. It came to a point, I'm like, all right, Dobie's dead, Chinks is dead. I have records of all these people that never came out. Dobie's dead, Chinks is dead, Bankroll Fresh is gone. Shawty Low, even though not violent car accident, but Shawty Low, that's my brother.
I know, I was going to ask you about that.
Shawty Low is gone. And I'm like, well, I'm going to put out, like, then it's scary, because it's like, I'm in the studio with these people, so then I'm looking around like, this actual studio was, a lot of these records were made in this actual studio, in this room. And it just shook me up to the point where I was kind of like, you know what? Fuck this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't. It ain't as fun. It ain't gonna be as fun. There'll be new young niggas, and I always support them and go hard for them as a person who loves the culture and everything. But it just don't feel the same without the homies. So now I have to do something that, you know, I know the homies will be proud of. Looking down, like I know that if there's any way these homies can watch Big Facts in Heaven, they watching it.
Facts,
And they
facts.
like, go bang, go scream, go gold, nigga. Like, I know that. That's a blessing if you believe in ancestors and everything. So, um, that's my biggest frustration, man. You know what I'm saying? And the list goes on. I remember the first time meeting the PNB Rock and the work that I put in with Dolph. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, this is the only genre of music where this happens. This is the only genre of music, and we don't think we're taking this shit for granted. Like, this is the only genre of music where this happens. Like, you should be able to make it to 50, 60 years old, maybe get in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, maybe evolve. You know the defining moment for me, man. Like, Nipsey Hussle dying that's when it was like, damn,
yeah.
I'm a person that if I had it, I would probably, at the time, open a store in the hood, show love to niggas, give niggas jobs, and have it right in the middle of the hood. That was my mindset then, right? And then some of my, again, people with wisdom and counsel is like, now you gotta understand this, Scream. You don't owe anybody anything, right? Like you gotta, and as you evolve and you start to build and grow your family, and you don't owe anybody anything. You don't have to go back to this place because, all right, cool, I received that wisdom. But that was one where it was like, wow, man, like
He showed love. Yeah, that was a tough one.
wow, because it used to be a code. Like,
Yeah.
all right, there might be issues, there might be this, there might be that. Hell, nigga might get robbed,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, right? But because of what this person is doing for the community, let them live type shit. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was a turning point amongst many other homicides and so forth like that. I think that was a turning point for me where it was like, well, family first. You know what I'm saying? And just wanted to do something that would stick and be remembered, and just wanted to do various different things and endeavors that'll stick and be remembered. But no, I'm not with the streets is the streets, right? Come from being a street DJ per se and seeing it all, but these people deserve to grow up with their families, dog. Like that's just, and it's pain every time. Like Doe B's dead. I remember that. I got that call on my birthday. I'm like, what do you mean? It's just at my birthday party. We supposed to get in the studio next week. Like, what do you mean? They killed him. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And there's this awkward silence just like here in amongst the house, and then pressing on my wife. My wife, are you okay? Are you sure you're okay? This is traumatic. You might need therapy. You might need to work. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just crazy, man. So, but we gotta make we go all the way back to Tupac and Biggie losing their life. That's what I'm saying about taking for granted. If someone loses their life, then we should do better. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it's gonna be perfect by any measure. You know what I'm saying? It's a bad statistic. Like somebody made a comment on social media. I saw like, we're doing good. We haven't lost any rappers in a few months. That's fucked
crazy.
up tweet, but it's real.
Nah, it's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So hopefully we can do better. I still believe in my heart is still in the hip hop culture from every angle. But I'm not the entire culture. The entire culture has to bring it to a place where it's like, hey, this again is a blessing where we can use this to feed our families. You understand what I'm saying? You can't take that lightly. You can't take that for granted. Like, and maybe some of these people have never had to suit and tie up and go sit in a cubicle or, do jobs that are not so pleasant. Maybe they haven't had to do that, so they don't know what it is to be able to go do what you love and have fun and make millions of dollars. Don't take that for granted. I say that over and over and over because I can't stress it enough.
Man, that's what it is, man. We got DJ Scream here. Atlanta in the building. Legendary. My guy, anything else you want to say?
No, that's it, man. Salute to you. Keep going. You know what I mean? Of course, keep it consistent. Anybody in the community that's, giving people opportunity to have these conversations, keep them going. Shouts to Team Big Facts, of course. Shouts to the Hood Rich Movement. All my brothers, salute. The Screen Foundation, you know what I'm saying? 2024 is a big year. Shouts to the DJ Connect app, you know what I'm saying? Got into the tech space a little bit, pushing forward with the DJ Connect app that's bridging the gap between rappers and DJs, so you can get more information on that. Got a restaurant coming, you know what I'm saying? That's something I always just wanted to do. That's one of the manifestations. One day I'm going to have a restaurant. It's going to be fly too. So shouts to Palm 78, Smyrna, that's coming. And just hopefully I can continue to just be a vessel, man, and just, you know what I'm saying, make people proud and do what I can to just really push the culture forward. You know, people say that, use the term lightly, but really push the culture forward, and hopefully I can open more doors and help more people. That's what I'm here for.
That's what it is. The Say Word Podcast. Make sure y'all subscribe, like, share. We up out of here, Atlanta, New York. Everybody say word.
The fastest growing podcast up in the world right now, you know. Say word. Only fans, real estate, talking in fashion, let them know what's happening.